Kenny Ong's murderer hanged. Suspect identified in Nur Dalin's kidnapping. I'm Desiree Gasper and this is Cuppa News. Former aircraft cabin cleaner Ahmad Najib, who was convicted for the rape and murder of Kenny Ong in 2003, has been executed today. The execution was carried out at the Kajang prison and the body buried at a Muslim cemetery located behind the Kajang hospital. According to a source, Ahmad Najib's mother could not have her last meet with her son as she is bedridden. Ong's brutal murder stunned the nation, especially when horrific details of her abduction at the Bangsar shopping centre in Kuala Lumpur and her subsequent rape and murder were made known during the trial in 2005. Her charred remains were found in a manhole near a highway construction site. Assuming makes an ass out of you and me. That said, the police have urged the public to stop speculating that the fertilizer-laden vessel detained in Indonesia was allegedly supplying the substance for militants to make explosives. Indonesian authorities in Bali intercepted the ship with 30 tons of fertilizer which they believe will most likely be used for blast fishing. They have so far found no links yet to terrorism networks. The fertilizer was on its way from Malaysia to Sulawesi.
Or manure, whatever it is being fertilizer is being transported all over the world via ships, most of them. So it is not something abnormal. We shouldn't be jumping into conclusion. Just because a ship from Malaysia carrying fertilizer, why are we so jumpy about it? So let us conduct a thorough investigation first. We are not even sure that the fertilizers and the ship was from Malaysia. We are not even sure of that. It may be from some other country.
So Indonesia didn't contact Malaysia, but Malaysia's contacted Indonesia?
Yeah, we have contacted them and we want further details. Yeah? But we shouldn't be so jumpy about it because we should protect our own interests.
Both Indonesia and Malaysia have been the target of terrorist groups like Islamic State in recent months. On another matter, the IGP also said the police are ready to help in de-radicalizing Malaysian Muhammad Bashir Lap, who is detained at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba for his alleged involvement in the bombing of JW Marriott Hotel in Jakarta in 2003.
Kami bersetuju dan kami bersedia. Ya, dia warga kita, dia rakyat kita. Kita mesti jaga dia dan kita mesti cuba pulihkan dia. So itu tanggungjawab kami.
Muhammad Bashir and Muhammad Farid Amin are the two Malaysians being held at the detention camp since 2006. After a meeting with US Special Envoy for Guantanamo closure, Lee Walowski in New York, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi told reporters that the US had informed of the possibility of Muhammad Bashir being sent back to Malaysia to continue to undergo the de-radicalization process. The IGP officiated an event to announce the collaboration between the Royal Malaysian Police and the Star Media Group. It will see a police helicopter being deployed with a 5-member crew in a traffic radio program called Eye in the Sky. The crew, including a radio announcer, will monitor traffic and possible crime. The Election Commission has until tomorrow to answer the Selangor government's queries on the rationale and mechanism behind the proposed redelineation exercise for Peninsular States and Sabah or face legal action.
Hasil maklum balas daripada peguam-peguam jelas menunjukkan bahawa SPR telah melanggar prinsip-prinsip Perlembagaan Persekutuan dalam mengemukakan cadangan persempadanan semula ini. Khususnya di negeri Selangor ini, cadangan yang dikemukakan boleh menjejaskan keharmonian kaum di dalam negeri Selangor dan memecah belahkan kesejahteraan rakyat yang mempunyai latar belakang pelbagai agama, budaya dan juga tradisi.
The Commission has said that the exhibition of its proposal is ongoing and it would not make any statement or accusations directed at them as the local inquiry process to gather public feedback on the proposal is still ongoing. On another matter, Azmin, who officiated the launch of an interchange on the Damansara-Puchong Highway, said under the upcoming State Budget 2017, his government would make full use of its reserve of 4.1 billion ringgit to further develop the state. In Kuala Lumpur, after a meeting between all Barisan Nasional leaders this afternoon, BN Chairman Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak said the ruling coalition had set up a committee to assess and consolidate the different views among its component parties on the redelineation. He said the committee would be headed by Datuk Sri Tengku Adnan Tengku Mansor, with its members comprising of secretaries from all the component parties. He also refuted claims that UMNO was happy with the proposed changes, saying that there were disputes on the matter even within the party. MCA and Gerakan are among the BN component parties that recently objected the redelineation, saying that it would segregate constituencies along racial lines. And some good news. Police have identified one of the two suspects involved in the abduction of 15-year-old Nurdalin Dazira Azhar. It was reported that the girl was waiting for her school van in Bandar Tun Hussein On in Selangor at 7 a.m. on Thursday when two men on a motorcycle rode by and forced her onto the vehicle. However, she was spotted at a supermarket and eventually returned to her family at 2:30 p.m.
Ya, penganggur. Usia lebih kurang 25 tahun lah. Dan beliau pun tinggal di kawasan persekitaran yang sama. Kejadian yang berlaku awal pagi, mangsa nak sekolah, motosikal datang, ambil mangsa dalam keadaan dipaksa, itu dakwaan. Dakwaan ini kita ambil kira dan dia perlu disokong dengan keterangan-keterangan yang lain. Bukti lain.
Nurdalin claimed that she did not know the suspects, but the police said they would investigate the case further from all angles. In other news, Perak police killed the leader of the notorious Don Tiger gang and 3 of its members in a shootout at Jalan Tambun in Tambun town at 10:50 p.m. on Thursday. During the incident, police officers in a patrol car fired back at the suspects who were travelling in a Honda Accord. Perak Deputy Police Chief Deputy Commissioner Datuk Hasnan Hassan said the officers had tried to stop the car. They heard gunshots fired from the car which hit the patrol car before ramming into a street light. The officers checked out the car, but the suspects fired at them again. The suspects were involved in armed robbery and are high on the police wanted list. In Sungai Buloh, 2 suspects in a series of robberies were arrested at about 1 o'clock this morning. Their arrest came hours after their accomplice was shot and detained in Desa Coalfields. The accomplice was spotted driving a stolen car with an unidentified accomplice near Sungai Buloh prison. A car chase ensued after the driver refused to stop and police opened fire at the car, causing injuries to the suspect who fled on foot before his arrest at a convenience store. AirAsia Berhad said that it would submit an appeal to the government to rescind the government's proposal to increase the passenger service charge or airport tax, as it would burden the people and reduce overall demand for carrier services. Its CEO Irene Omar said they had not received any official notification from the Malaysian Aviation Commission or MAVCOM. On Thursday, Transport Minister Datuk Sri Liao Tiong Lai told the public to wait for MAVCOM's announcement on the hike. He said the hike would be moderate and Malaysia's airport charges are still lower than those of other countries. Meanwhile, Malaysia Airlines said it welcomes the minister's statement on equal airport taxes for both old and new airport facilities. Anyone game for 7-Up Lima Chili? Sunday Star Deputy Editor Shahnaz Habib came across this interesting concoction. 7-Up spiced with a fresh chili, lime and ice while travelling in Portugal. Shahnaz said the drink is a tad pricey at €3, but the Malaysian in her had to give it a shot as life is all about new experiences. And her verdict? She said she wouldn't order it again as it's akin to eating sambal belacan and drinking 7-Up. Doesn't her bartender look like Jerry Seinfeld? In world news, South Korea continues to press on the denuclearization program for its rival neighbour North Korea. South Korean Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se said at the United Nations General Assembly in New York that North Korea had totally ridiculed the UN through its nuclear and missile tests and that it is time to reconsider whether it is qualified for UN membership. He said the UN Security Council should adopt comprehensive sanctions on North Korea after its 5th nuclear test on September 9th. This came in the midst of debate in South Korean parliament over the nation's plan to assassinate North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. On Wednesday, South Korean Defense Minister Han Min-gu said that they have a general idea and plan to use precision missile capabilities to target North Korea's facilities and eliminate its leadership. Protests dragged on for 3 consecutive nights in Charlotte, North Carolina in the United States as demonstrators were upset with the police's decision to not release a video showing the shooting of Keith Lamont Scott by police. The Charlotte Police Department said they had so far only shown the video to Scott's family. People took to the streets following the death of the black man by a police officer as part of a police search for another man on Tuesday. In London, exiled Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama has ventured into American politics by doing an impression of US Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump in the Good Morning Britain program.
Have you met Donald Trump? Never. What do you think of him? I don't know. Sometimes you see his sort of the way his hair, something like that, and his mouth small. That's my impression. That's a good impression. But I don't know.
We leave you with a sneak preview of Star Media Group's radio station 988 20th anniversary celebrations happening tomorrow. The show starts at 8 p.m. in Genting Highlands and will feature over 20 artists as well as DJs from the station. Have a great weekend.
Turn my music.